Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Nawashai Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird among the heathens that look like the heathens. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And there's some street preach over there screaming out madness and not backing anything up with scriptures. But I was listening to this guy. What's his name? Let's see if I can find him and play him real quick. And this is just a very short clip of a guy that on the YouTube that was screaming about it's okay to call on any name. So I'm gonna try and find that video real quick. It's literally about 30 seconds long, less than a minute. Yeah, you got the nigga woman over there co-signing. Preach that word. He sounds like he's a brother from West Africa. He's got that Nigerian type accent. That zeal, but not according to knowledge. All right, so trying to get to I know I put it in my watch laters. And for some reason, this thing is loading very slowly and losing. But all these antennas and shit like that out there. But if it doesn't, show up, I'm just gonna go to the scriptures and prove the point anyway. How wrong he was on what he was saying. But just give me a few seconds here. Trying to check. Wow, this is really irritating. I mean, there's a lot going on when these signals, when these phones act this way. All right. Wow, it is really slow. Well, basically, what he was saying was that, you could call on the Lord, and he's all sweaty and greasy, loud. You know how they do, just like that guy, except for with that southern, drawing out their words, and like if you just not saying God is enough, but you got to say in God, that whole sort of thing, like not Jesus but Jesus, these people are really silly. But you know what? I'm not gonna fight with that. Let Esau trying to, Satan trying to do what he do. I'm just gonna go straight to the scriptures. All right, because basically he said, these people were complaining about the Bible. These people were complaining about the name, but the word was never tampered with, so you can call him with any name, and that's just simply not true. That's simply not true. My first scripture is gonna be Acts. The book of Acts 4 and 12, and it reads, "Neither is there any salvation in any other, for there is none other name, singular, under heaven given among men, wherein by we must be saved." So he was acknowledging that the letter J didn't exist, and he know that the Lord, there was no letter J's. He was bringing all that up, but you can still call on Jesus, and that really makes no sense because he has a name, and you just can't call on any name on him. So why would the creator of everything allow you to call on him with anything that you want to? And then in Acts 25, let me go to Acts. I love the book of Acts. In Acts 26 and 7, 15, I know it's in 26. Yes, it's Acts 26 and the 14, but I'm going to start in 13, and it reads, "And at midday I saw in the way of the light from heaven above the brightness of the sun shining round about me, and them which journeyed with me. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice unto me saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And I said, who art thou, O Lord? And he said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest. But, and that's all in the red right there, but you have to remember, he told you that he heard it in the Hebrew tongue. So therefore we know that he did not say Jesus. The Lord spoke Hebrew. In proper Hebrew, he would have said Yahushua, not Yeshua. There was no U and no E's in Hebrew. Those vowel points were added on by Eliezer ben Yehudi in the 1800s, right, in the late 1800s. He added those vowel points onto the Hebrew, therefore corrupting it. There is no letter E as in Edward, no letter V as in victory, all right, no letter U, all right, as in uniform, and no letter E as in echo. No letter O as in Oscar, all right. Those letters did not exist in proper Hebrew. The Hebrew only had 22 characters, so they tried to match it up to the 26 letters like in the alphabet, all right. And that was that Edomite influence, because Eliezer ben Yehudi is definitely was an Edomite, all right. So now we've established that the language of heaven is Hebrew. Let's go to Isaiah 19 and 18. All right. And it reads, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan and swear to Yahweh of hosts, one shall be called the city of destruction. So that's a future prophecy. And the language of Canaan was Hebrew. All right. That's why they called it Phoenician. Okay. The whole Aramaic form of Hebrew, that didn't start until the captivity of the northern kingdom. All right, to the dispersion of the northern kingdom. And when they went into Assyria, they began to use that script. But prior to that, they used the block, the original Hebrew, what the Israelis refer to as Bible Hebrew or biblical Hebrew. All right? Because I remember having the conversations with a couple different Israelis and mentioning the Paleo, and they were looking at me like, and then when I showed it to them, they were like, oh, that's the biblical, that's what they refer to it as, biblical Hebrew. Then what are you using then? Why aren't you using the biblical Hebrew? Because it wouldn't fit their narrative. That's why. Okay? So let's add on to that. Let's go to Zephaniah 3 and 9. And these are milk scriptures, but you know what? I won't say that you're cutting them, but you can drown them with the milk, man. All right, this is Zephaniah 3 and 9, and it reads, for then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Yahweh to serve him with one accord. And that is the capital letters right there, which means, and when you look that up, even though that's in the Greek, it's going to show you that in the Hebrew, because proper names, proper nouns don't translate. All right, so you're watching the foreign media, and then they're speaking in their language, and then they'll say Donald Trump, or they're speaking in their language, and then they'll say Joe Biden, or they'll speak of some sports figure, they'll speak in their language and then talk about the boxer Mike Tyson or Michael Jordan. All right, then they go right back to speaking their language. Proper nouns never translate. Okay, and even in our media, they'll be talking about the Russian president and Vladimir Putin, and they'll be speaking in English, and they'll say Vladimir Putin, but Vladimir Putin isn't English. All right, they don't try to break it down to some other form. Vladimir Putin does not translate because it is his name. All right, you understand those rules of language. All right, so one more scripture in Zechariah, I believe it's 14 and 9. All right, there you hear him over there talking about some Jesus. All right, this is and these people in the park trying to worship that let me see if I can get the bean in the background. You see? Let me see if I can zoom in on the bean. I'm on the north side of the bean. What they call sky cloud. These people out here trying to take their pictures of this idol and all that mess, and then he trying to feed them with another idol. All right, they don't want your idol. They already got the idol. But anyway, This is Zechariah 14:9, and it simply reads, "And Yahweh shall be king over all the earth. And in that day there be one Yahweh, and his name one." So it's not okay for you to just call upon any names. The Lord is directing us to call upon him by his name. And there's so many scriptures that said he gave us and will give us the name. All right? So people are choosing not to use it because you have to understand that that name has power. And that name, and the heathen, first of all, they can't say it. His name is a terror unto them. And secondly, they don't want the real people, the scattered people, speaking that name. All right, because that name, they know the history, and they know that name has power when the actual people speak it and speak it correctly. So with that, I hope this was a quick and edifying lesson. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Abashai by Shem Rakak Wadash, Wa Abba Babal, Kwam Yasserala, and Shalom.